This is Ravi Verma, and this is the second part or the second video for the NCERT solutions of the chapter number 1, that is matter in our surroundings, from the chemistry of class ninth. So dear students, in the first part or the first video, we have discussed the question number 1 to question number 10 out of the in-text questions. In-text questions. These questions are written in blue color within the text of your chapter number 1 in your NCERT textbook. Okay, so in this video we are going to cover all the remaining in-text questions. Okay, so let us start. So first of all, I would like to tell you that you may write the answers given here in this video. You can take the screenshots of every individual question, or you can pause every individual question before writing it in your copies. Okay, so dear students, let's start the first question. First in text question. So this in text question, the 11th in text question is, for any substance, why does the temperature remains constant during change of state? So dear students, when a matter is changing its state, for example, it's changing from solid to liquid, the question is that during this process the temperature remains constant. Why? Okay, so we have discussed it in the theory portion of this chapter, that solid melts into liquid at a fixed temperature, that is its melting point. So while a solid is converting into liquid, the temperature remains only at its melting point. It does not increases even if you are giving heat to the solid, right? So why this happen? This happens because of latent heat. What is latent heat? The heat which is being used to break down the force of attraction between the particles of a solid and convert into liquid. So this is why the heat remains constant, or temperature remains constant, not the heat. Okay, so what is the answer? You can have the answer here, that the energy supplied, called latent heat, is being utilized to break the force of attraction between the particles and change the state. This is why the temperature of the substance remains constant. So the major concept is here the latent heat. Okay, next question number 12. Suggest a method to liquefy gas. So dear students, a gas can be liquefied by reducing the temperature, that is cooling the gas, and by increasing pressure on the gas. Means if we press a gas and cool it simultaneously, then we can convert it into a liquid. For example, this is a cylinder and this is the piston, and initially the gas was occupying whole the volume of the cylinder. When you apply pressure by the help of a piston, the piston will move down, right, and the gas will be reduced in its volume. Okay, because its particles will come very close to each other. So we can liquefy a gas by reducing the gap between the particles by increasing or applying pressure on it and cooling it. Okay, next, why does a desert cooler cool better on a hot and dry day? So dear students, let us first understand how a cooler works. Okay, so suppose this is a desert cooler. This is a desert cooler, and this is its fan. Here it is its fan. You know that on the three walls or three sides of the cooler there is a grass pad through which water is moving continuously. So what happens? The air enters into the cabinet or into the space of the cooler, passing through these grass pads. So during this process, when air is passing through the grass pads, the heat of air is absorbed by water, and water it starts evaporating. During this process, the heat of air is transferred to water and water starts evaporating, and this is why the air which is entering into the cabinet becomes cool. So the air inside the cabinet which is reaching becomes cool, and when it comes out it gives a cool feeling to you. So why does a desert cooler, now when we have understood how a desert cooler works, the question is why does a desert cooler works better during summer days, which are hot and dry days, but when rains come the cooler doesn't work well? What is the reason? You know that cooling of a cooler is caused due to evaporation of water. Evaporation of water, right? So when water evaporates it absorbs heat from air and causes cooling of the air. So a desert cooler will work better in those days in which rate of evaporation is high. You know that during the hot and dry day the temperature is high and humidity is low. The temperature is high and humidity is low. These two factors support the rate of evaporation. Means during a hot and dry day temperature is high and humidity is low. Because of this water from the grass pads evaporates at a faster rate, and this is why it causes better cooling. But during rainy seasons, what happens during rainy seasons? You know that during rainy seasons the humidity is very high, because of which the rate of evaporation decreases and cooling of a cooler also decrease. So this is why the desert cooler works better during summers but not good during rainy seasons. Now, 14th question: how does the water kept in an earthen pot becomes cool during summer days? So, dear students, this you might have seen that when you keep some water in earthen pot, suppose this is the earthen pot, right? And in this earthen pot you have kept water, you will see that the water becomes cool gradually after some time. So why does this happen? Because you know that the wall of an earthen pot, that is also called matka, has a large number of pores. So the wall is porous. So when you keep water in a matka, then high energy particles of water move through these pores and reach at the surface of the matka, and from there they evaporate. During evaporation process they absorb heat from the wall of the matka, and this is how the wall becomes cool. And you know that from the water high energy particles are moving out. This means the particles remaining in the water have low energy, means they are cool. So this is how gradually the water becomes cool, because the water evaporates and absorbs all heat from the wall and the water present in the inside the matka or the earthen pot. So this is the solution. So let's understand. Wall of an earthen pot is porous in nature, in structure. The high energy particles of water stored in it penetrate through the walls and come on the outer surface, from where they get evaporated. During the evaporation process, the water absorbs the heat from the wall of the earthen pot. This is why water kept in matka also loses heat gradually and becomes cool. Next question: why does our palm feel cold when we put some acetone petrol or perfume on it. So dear students, what happens when suppose this is the palm, right, and you have kept a few drops of perfume on your hand, or acetone or nail polish remover on your hand. So when you keep it, you feel cool. What is the reason? Because the particles of liquid absorb heat energy from your hand and get evaporated, and during this process you feel cool. So because of evaporation you feel cool. Okay, next question. Why we are able to sip hot tea or milk faster from a saucer rather than a cap cup? The answer is that, suppose this is a cup, okay, and this is a saucer, means a small plate, like, right? Okay, so suppose you have kept tea here and you have kept tea here also. So you know that in cup the surface area is very small. Because of this, the rate of evaporation of water is slow, and this is why the water cools slowly, or the tea and milk kept in a cup cools slowly. But in a surface, in a saucer, the surface area is very large. Because of this, water from the tea or milk evaporate very fast, and because of faster evaporation, the water becomes, sorry, the tea or milk becomes cool, and this is why it is easy to sip it from a saucer. Okay, so what type of clothes should we wear in summers? So dear students, during summers we should wear cotton cloths. What is the reason? Because it absorbs sweat and exposes it to the atmosphere and allows it to evaporate, right? So when cotton shirt absorbs sweat, it evaporates into the air, and during evaporation the sweat absorbs heat from the body and the surroundings, causing a cooling effect in the skin. So these all were the in text questions. Now let's understand the NCERT question answers. Convert the following temperatures to Celsius scale: A 300 Kelvin and B 573 Kelvin. So this is very simple. So you know that 1 degree Celsius is equal to 274 and 0 degree Celsius equal to 273 Kelvin. So 300 Kelvin will be equal to 300 minus 273 centigrade equal to 27 degree Celsius. And again we will take 573 and we will subtract 273 from it, and we will get the answer 300 degree Celsius. Now here you have to do the reverse of it, means you have to convert the temperature given in Celsius scale into the Kelvin scale. So how we can do? 25 degree Celsius equal to 25 degree Celsius plus 273 Kelvin, that is 293 Kelvin. In the same way, 373 plus 273 degree Celsius equal to 646 Kelvin, right? Next, give reasons for the following observations. What are the observations? The observations are: naphthalene balls disappear with time without leaving any solid. You know that naphthalene is a sublimable solid. So what happens? It absorbs heat from the surrounding and directly gets converted from solid to gaseous state without going through the liquid phase. This process called sublimation. So we can say that naphthalene walls disappear because of sublimation, that is converting from solid to gaseous state without passing through the liquid state. Then we can get the smell of perfume while sitting several meters away. Okay, so what is the reason? The reason is diffusion. You know, dear students, that perfume consists of volatile substance which evaporates faster. So this which diffuses very quickly in air and spreads in surrounding. This is why we are able to smell the perfume while sitting several meters away. So the main reason is rapid rate of diffusion of the substances present in perfume. Okay, next, Arrange the following in increasing order of force of attraction between the particles: water, sugar, oxygen. So you know that oxygen is a gas, so it should have the least force of attraction between the particles. Water is a liquid, it should have a little bit more forces of attraction, and the solid should have maximum forces of attraction. So this is the increasing order, means the least force of attraction is in oxygen and the maximum force of attraction between the particles is in sugar. Okay, next, what is the physical state of water at 25 degrees Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degree Celsius? So dear students, at 25 degrees Celsius, which is neither its melting point nor its boiling point, so the water should be in liquid form, because this temperature is the temperature of normal room temperature. Next, at 0 degrees Celsius, you know what it is? Its freezing point. It is its freezing point. So at this temperature, the water should be in both the solid and liquid state. Now 100 degrees Celsius is its boiling point. So at this temperature, the water should be in both the liquid state and the gaseous state, that is its steam state. Next question. Give two reasons to justify water is liquid at room temperature and iron almira is solid at room temperature. What is the reason that water is liquid and iron almira is solid? So let's understand. The water changes its physical state at 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius. 0 is its melting and freezing point and 100 is its boiling point. Therefore, at room temperature, which is very less than 100 and very much more than 0 degrees Celsius, so at room temperature, obviously the water is found in liquid state, because water molecules are continuously moving throughout its bulk. So this is why the room temperature is neither its melting or freezing point or boiling point, so and the particles are moving freely. This is why water is liquid at room temperature. Now why iron almira is solid at room temperature? Because the melting point of iron is very high, around 1500 degrees Celsius, and room temperature is around 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, which is much less than its boiling point, sorry, its melting point. Okay, so this is the this is the melting point, right? This is not the boiling point. And boiling point is much higher than this, much higher than this. Okay, so the iron almira is also solid at room temperature because its particles are tightly packed together. Now next question, question number 7 of NCERT solutions. Why is ice at 273 Kelvin more effective in cooling than water at the same temperature? You know that 273 is 0 degrees Celsius, and you know this is the melting point of water. Okay, so you know that when there is ice, right? When ice reaches 0 degrees Celsius, it starts converting into liquid. It starts converting into liquid. Okay, it starts melting. So what is being asked means during the melting process, water which is being formed is also at 0 degree Celsius and ice is also at 0 degree Celsius. So what is being asked? This is being asked that both the ice and water during the melting process are at 0 degree Celsius, but which one is more effective in cooling, right? Why is ice more effective in cooling than water at the same temperature? The reason is that the ice is more effective in cooling because ice particles have not absorbed latent heat of fusion, but water particles have absorbed latent heat of fusion, means they have more amount of heat energy hidden in them, but they have less, the ice has less amount of heat energy hidden in them. This is why ice can absorb more energy and cause more cooling. Okay, so let's understand what is the answer written here. Let's understand. When the energy is supplied, the ice particles absorb latent heat and convert itself into liquid form. Thus water particles at 273 Kelvin have more energy hidden in them as compared to ice at the same temperature. Hence ice absorbs more heat when used for cooling something, so it may cause more cooling effect. However, in case of water, it does not absorb any extra heat but only the required amount of heat to increase temperature. So this is why ice is more effective in cooling, because ice particles have yet not absorbed latent heat of fusion. Okay, next question. What produces more severe burns, boiling water or steam? So dear students, both these questions are almost similar questions, and in both these questions the concept of latent heat is very important. So what is the concept? Let's understand. You know, dear students, steam at 100 degrees Celsius has extra amount of energy trapped in it called latent heat of vaporization, which was used for changing the state from liquid to vapor during vaporization, right? So when water is being boiled, right, it its particles absorb latent heat and convert into steam. So steam particles have more energy, but the water which is yet in liquid state has less amount of energy. So this is why when steam comes in contact with something, it causes more severe burns because it releases more amount of energy. So steam therefore produces more severe burns because it releases more heat energy when comes in contact with the skin. Next, and the last question of the chapter. Name A, B, C, D, E in the following diagrams showing a change in the state. So dear students, you know that when solid is converted into liquid, this process is called melting. This is melting, right? And when liquid converts into solid, this is called freezing. This is called freezing. Now again, when liquid is heated, it converts into gas. This process is called vaporization. This is called vaporization. And when gas is converted into liquid, this is called condensation, right? And when solid is directly converted into gas, again, so when solid is directly converted into gas, this is called sublimation. So we E will be sublimation. And when gas converts directly into solid, this is again sublimation, or we can call it deposition. So the answers here are: A is melting, fusion or liquefaction. Liquefaction is it is also called liquefaction. Next, B is evaporation or vaporization, we can call it. Condensation, C, D solidification, and E sublimation. So thanks for watching this video, dear students. I will suggest you that you note the answers from this video, and this will be very much helpful to you in understanding the concepts. Thank you.